Listen up, lads. Welcome back to the Daily Crumper. Today, I'm going to be going over the Kult of Speed detachment out of our 10th edition Orc Codices. I'm going to show you what the detachment does, what units you're going to want to bring, we'll go over a quick list, and then I'll show you on the tabletop how I'd play it myself. So let's jump right into it. So, the Kult of Speed, the detachment rule is called Adrenaline Junkies. Says that speed freaks units from your army are eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which they advanced or fell back. Now that's pretty simple, really. Ain't nothing fancy here, just means that your speed freak units are faster than ever. But what you'll notice, if you are a returning player or you just haven't looked at the orc book in a while, that we've had a change in this here detachment, and that's mainly why I'm bringing up this video in the first place. So before, when the book first came out, that little blue listing right there, declare a charge, was not in there. It just originally said that speed freak units were eligible to shoot in a turn which they advanced or fell back. So it meant you could be really quick and speedy running up the board and still be able to shoot and whatnot. Not too bad. But at the end of the day, we're orcs, and orcs want to get in there and crump them good. So not being able to do that, it limited your options a bit. So now that we're able to shoot and charge when you advance to fell back is pretty darn good. So let's go over the rest of this and see what else we can find in this detachment here. So these are the enhancements. First one, Waz Blaster. Now it's only 10 points and it says it goes on a Death Killer Wartrike model only. It says in your shooting phase, after the bear's unit is shot, if it's not within engagement range of one or more enemy units, it can make a normal move of up to 6 inches. If it does until the end of the turn, it is not eligible to declare a charge. So, what this screams to me is this is some pointy-eared Eldar shenaniganry, except we can do it with our boys now. Specifically, the Death Killer. So it means the boss biker can roll up the board with his biker boys, shoot him up good, and then get out of town. Really all it does is improve the speed of your biker boys even more. Because as we'll go over later, the war bikers already move pretty fast on their own, which is 12 inches. Now when a Death Killer Wartrike is leading them, his ability allows the bikers to advance flat 6 inches already. So that gives them an 18-inch move, and coupled with the detachment ability, allows them to still shoot and now also declare a charge afterwards. But if you take Waz Blaster on the Wartrike, that'll allow you to advance up your 18 inches, shoot up them Gitz all nice and good, and then move another 6 inches for a total of 24 inches of movement, and hopefully be able to get where you want to go. And it's only 10 points, so it's all not that bad. Next enhancement is Faster Than Use. Now this one's quite interesting, I'd say. It says an Orc's infantry model only. Each time the bear's unit disembarks from a transport, after that transport has made a normal move, the bear's unit is still eligible to declare a charge this turn. So what this means is, it effectively gives whatever transport your infantry model is in the assault ramp ability. The assault ramp is the ability native to the Land Raider in the Beaky Boys Codice, which allows your units to disembark and still charge. Because normally, with transports, if you wanted to charge out of a transport, you would have to disembark and move before the transport itself moves. This enhancement allows you to do it after it moves. So if you put this enhancement on a war boss, stick him in a truck, then the truck can move up its 12, your boss can disembark his 3 inches, and still charge his 2d6 inch range charge move thing. So it's pretty good at getting your boys stuck in right and rather quickly, I'd say. If I were to run this, I would definitely put it on a war boss, and stick him with either some breaker boys, or a 10-pack of knobs with power claws, or if you want to get real fancy with it, you can put this on a war boss in mega armor and stick him with some mega knobs inside a battle wagon, for example. Specifically on the mega knobs, it makes them real quick, really helps get around that 5-inch move that they're stuck with most of the time. But a potential downside to all this is that it is 35 points. That is expensive. That's a lot of teeth you gotta shell out if you want to run this one. And on top of it, again, you're gonna be putting it with a war boss with knobs or a mega boss with mega knobs, which are already expensive bricks of units by themselves. For instance, if you were to take a truck and you were to put a 6-pack of breaker boys with a war boss with this enhancement in it, you're looking at 320 points as of running this. And that is quite a lot of teeth taken out of your list, all just to be put in this one package. If you were to take a truck with knobs, 10-pack of knobs with a boss, and put the enhancement on it, you're looking at close to 390, almost 400 points, all in one little package. It's a good package, mind you. Not gonna blame you if you want to run it, but it is a lot of points, and that is something you definitely gotta consider, because having a large package like this means it's taken away from your other Gitz in your list. And you need to have a lot of boys and a lot of different units in today's 40k economy in order to do your secondaries and hold your backfield and just take up space on the board. So is it a good enhancement? Yes. Do I find myself taking it? Typically not really, which is unfortunate because it's so zogging cool. Next enhancement is Speed Makes Right for 25 points. Says Orcs model only. In your command phase, if the bearer or a transport the bearer is embarked within is within 9 inches of one or more enemy units, roll a d6. On a 3+, you gain 1 CP. This one, it's proper shit, boys. I would never take it. It's expensive, and it's got way too many hoops for you to jump through in order to even have the chance of getting a CP. And especially in our army, we have the Grots, the Gretchen, which is a unit that is one of the best in the game, mind you, at just getting you CP anyways. And with the match play rules, you can't gain more than 1 additional CP within a battle round, you know, aside from the typical ones that you get at the start of both players' turns. So if you're already bringing your Grots, which are piss cheap anyways, points-wise to bring, then why are you gonna take this Speed Makes Right shit? What are you gonna do? You're gonna throw this on a Death Killer War Trike or something, speed them up the board, right within that 9 inches of an opponent. Don't kill said Gitz, because if there's nobody within 9, you don't even have a chance to roll the CP. And that's another thing, you still have to roll it. It's on a 3+. 3+ is pretty good. Like a 4 or a 5+ would be way worse. I mean, the Grots are on a 4+, but you have to jump through so many things to even have the chance at doing this. It's proper shit, don't take it. Next enhancement is Squig Hide Tires. Death Killer War Trike model only. Each time a model in the bear's unit makes a consolidation move, it can move up to 6 inches instead of up to 3 inches, which is the normal consolidate move. This one's a nice to have. If you have the points left over for it at the end of your list making, I'd take it. Especially if you're going into those more gunline type enemies who don't like being locked up in the first place. If you're playing against the Imperial Guard or the Votan, the whatever have you, take this, because then you can move that Death Killer Warbiker unit 18 inches up the board, still charge, and if you kill whatever you're charged into, you move another 6 inches towards the closest unit, and with those big bases you got on those boys, you can tag all sorts of things on your opposing Gitz field. It's quite nice. Not an absolute take every time, mind you, but it is quite alright, I'd say. Next up, we got the stratagems. So first time, more Gitz over here. It's 1 CP. Says, in your opponent's movement phase, just after an enemy unit ends a normal advance or fallback move, 1 speed freak unit from your army that is within 9 inches of that enemy unit and not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units can make a normal move of up to 6 inches. So this is your pretty bog standard reactive move. Most codexes have it, most detachments have it, you see it all over. Hey, don't move within 9 inches of me, boys, or else I can spend a CP and move in your turn. It can screw up a lot of your opponent's game plans. It's nice to have in the pocket, and in particular, ours is pretty good above other people's, because this one we can move 6 flat inches instead of just D6. Most reactive moves are only D6s nowadays, so it's pretty swingy whether you get the movement you actually want to get. With ours, 6 flat inches, that'll get you where you want to go. Quite nice. Next strat, Speediest Freaks, 1 CP. Your opponent's shooting phase of the fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. 1 Speed Freaks or truck unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Till the end of the phase, models in your unit have a 5-up invulnerability save. If a unit is a vehicle unit with an unmodified toughness characteristic of 8 or less, till the end of the phase, models in your unit have a 4-up invuln save instead. Now this is fantastic. You can put this on your warbikers to give them a 5-up invuln outside of the war, which is really nice to have defensively. Because again, you'll notice a lot of units you're going to want to bring in these Speed Freaks armies that we'll talk about later are quite large model bases. They're pretty hard to maneuver and hard to hide from your opponent. So being able to give them an invuln save at the drop of a bucket, it's pretty good. This is especially good on your Def Copters because they are a vehicle unit that is less than 8 toughness, meaning that they will have that 4-up invuln save, which is outstanding, lads. We love it. Being able to shrug off half of all damage that you would take for 1 CP, fantastic. Next strat is Squig Flingin', 1 CP or movement phase just after a Speed Freaks unit or truck unit from your army ends a normal advance or fallback move. That Speed Freak or truck unit. It's like 1 enemy unit within 9 inches of a unit. That unit must take a battle shock test, and when doing so, subtract 1 from the result. Now this one, it's pretty niche, I'd say. It's good to use if you're going to make some big game-changing play. Perhaps you end your movement, chuck those squigs at an opposing unit that's on an objective. Say they failed a battle shock, now they're OC 0, so you're able to hold the objective out from underneath them, get you some points. Maybe it stops an action from happening. I could definitely see there being some situations where you might want to use something like this, but on an average game, you're probably going to forget about it, and I wouldn't blame you. It's not the fanciest, flashiest strat, but it is good to have in the toolbox, if you know what I'm saying. Next strat is called Storm, 1 CP, your shooting phase. 1 Speed Freaks unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot, they get sustained hits 1 on their ranged weapons. If they're targeting a unit within 9 inches, they have sustained hits 2 instead. There's a restriction, however, which is unique. It says a unit cannot be targeted by this and the Blitz of Fire stratagem in the same phase, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But there's a reason for it. So this strat is probably the best one in this detachment. You're going to want to be hitting that Storm button every single opportunity you get. Your Speed Freaks units are incredibly fast, super quick, can get inside your opponent's face very easily, get within that 9 inches, press that button, give them sustained hits too. This is huge on your Def Copters, being able to give all the rockets and custom Mega Blasters sustained hits too. Very, very nice. It's even good on your Warbikers. You know, if they're within 9 inches, that means they're within rapid fire and they're shooting out all them Daka shots, giving them sustained hits too. You know, sustained hits too can get pretty scary. Everybody was bitching and moaning and whining about that Daka detachment from way back when, because they would just give everything sustained hits too. Now, you just have it on a stratagem. It's only for certain units, but it makes a very, very big difference. Then its counterpart strat that can be combined with it is Blitzifier, 1 CP, your shooting phase. 1 Speed Freak unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase. Ranged weapons in your unit have lethal hits, and when they make an attack within 9 inches, they get critical hits on 5s instead of just 6s, meaning they get critical hits on 5s as well. Has the same restriction, however, cannot be targeted by this and Storm in the same phase, as otherwise it would get pretty scary, giving whatever you want Speed Freak wise, both lethal hits and sustained hits too, and you crit on 5s, so you're getting sustained hits too on 5s as well. It would get out of hand pretty quickly, so I don't blame them for putting that restriction in. But again, this is great on similar targets. It's not bad on Def Copters. It's very good on the Warbikers just because they have that large amount of volume of shots. So giving them lethals, say you're going up into a vehicle that has high toughness but it has a bad save, it's got a 3 or a 4-up save, then being able to just shoot out a bunch of Daka shots from the Warbikers with lethal hits on them, lethal in on 5s. It's a pretty good way to force a bunch of saves on an opposing Git. And the last stratagem is full throttle. It's 1 CP in your charge phase, just after a speed freak unit ends a charge move. Till the end of the turn, each time a model in your unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to the wound roll. This one's kind of an odd duck. A lot of speed freak units, they don't have super great melee. They do have melee options. I mean, you're still an orc. Like, an orc hits like an orc in melee, but they're not geared towards it. So really, all this is it's a nice to have. If you shoot all your deck at them in the shooting phase, and there's still 1 or 2 beaking marines or something still sitting on an objective, and you really need to get them killed, charge in on them, and pop that full throttle stratagem, giving you the +1 to wound, and that might just be able to take you over that hill in terms of being able to take them off the board. So it's not bad all in all. So what are the speed freak units? Obviously, it's going to be your buggies. You got your boom decker snaz wagons, your mega track scrap jets, your rucker truck squig buggies, shock jump dragsters, custom booster blasters, death killer war trikes as your 1 character, your war bikers of course for him to lead, even throw in your 4 planes, and most importantly of all the different Gits, the death copters. These are going to be the main cream of the crop. These are the ones you're going to want to bring in every single speed freak list. Forget about the buggies, you can bring some bikers, forget about the planes, GW doesn't want you to take them anyways, but the copters, you need to take as many of these boys as you can possibly handle. Now why is this? Well, we'll go over it. So the death copters, you can see here, they come in models of 3 or 6. For 3 models, they are 80 points. For 6 of them, it is 160 points, so pretty cheap all things considered. You can see that they are flying vehicles, they got the grenade keyword, which is pretty cheeky. You can throw out some cheeky grenades every once in a while, do some more mortal wounds. It's not bad. Let's see, what do they got? They are 12-inch moving, 6 toughness, 4 up armor save with a 6 up invulnerability save, just baked in, which is very nice. 4 wounds apiece, 7 depleted shit, and 2 OC. So they come with their copter rockets, 1 in every 3, can swap them out for a custom mega blaster, which I'd say is give or take. The custom mega blasters you can see are a bit attractive because they're 3 flat shots instead of the D3 shots with the copter rockets, and they're also D6 damage versus 3 damage, which, you know, the variability is neither here nor there. You can get a 6 damage shot, you can get a 1 damage shot, you know, so depends on if you want to bring them or not. Personally, I don't like hazardous weapons. I feel like I roll ones all the zogging time, and my units blow up just as much as my opponent's does. So I don't bring them. But if you want to, it's not bad. But I just stick with full rockets if you can. Because the rockets, the D3 shots, they've got blasts, so most of the time you're going to be getting an extra shot or 2 with them. They hit on 5s, because everything in orcs hit on 5s, and shooting, the strength 9, the AP 2, and the 3 flat damage. The 3 flat damage is really what you're looking for here. There's so many things in the game that are 3 wounds that everybody's running nowadays. Your Beaky Boy Termies are 3 wounds, your Banana Boy Guard are 3 wounds, them Spiky Boy Possessed and Chosens are 3 wounds. Even us, we got Mega Knobs, and they're 3 wounds too. A lot of 3 wound infantry running around, and these copter rockets with the strength 9 and the twin linked, it means you're going to be wounding a lot of them 3 wound boys pretty easily. Now their ability is Death from Above. It says each time this unit ends a normal move, you can select 1 unit that it moved over during your move and roll a d6 for each model in this unit. For each 4 up, the enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. So that can be confusing sometimes. So specifically it says each model in this unit, meaning your death copters. So if you have a 6-man death copter unit, you fly over some opposing Gits, you're rolling 6 dice. You're not rolling for how many units that are in your opposing Gits unit, it's how many models are in your death copter unit. It's important to know because a lot of people mess that up. So, like we said before, if you combine this Death from Above ability with the grenades keyword, you can have a squad of death copters throwing out a lot of mortal wounds. That's before they even shot you, or charged you for that matter, so they can end up doing a pretty good amount of damage. So between having the big 6 model bricks of these, you got 3 bricks, and they're only 160 points apiece, so they're pretty darn cheap in terms of points wise. I'd bring a full 18. hands down, they are going to be your main damage dealers in the Speed Freaks detachment. And if you compare them with the Dagger Storm and Blitzerfire stratagems, they're going to be taking Gitz off the board, believe you me. So, why does everybody complain about the Speed War? How come you never see anybody running it at your tournaments, your GTs, or whatever? How come everybody on the YouTube says it's just trash, awful garbage? Well, fortunately, there's a lot of downsides to the Speed War, which makes me say it as an orc boy. First thing, the buggies are all flash no decker. Now, what do I mean by that, lads? Well, if you look into your good old codices, you'll notice that most of our buggies are quite rubbish, to be honest. I mean, just take a look at the Megatrek Scrapjet. I used to love running these in the past editions, but now they've boiled it down so much to where it just does nothing. Look at this. What is it equipped with? It's equipped with one rocket cannon. Alright, it's blast, but it's only D6 plus 1 shots. So most of the time it'll be D6 plus 2, maybe, for blast, if you're firing at like a 5-man beaky squad or something. So you're getting what? 4, 5 shots? And you're hitting on 5s because they're an orc, so you get 1, 2, maybe 3 hits if you're lucky. You might take out 1, maybe 2 Marines. It's only 24-inch range though, so you gotta get somewhat close enough to be able to hit them in the first place. It's got 2 twin big shooters to follow it up. But them's only strength 5 AP 0. AP 0? In 10th edition? Every squig and their mother's got cover? That doesn't do nothing. Makes me proper alright, that is. Look at another one. You got the Rocket Truck Squig Buggy. Its squig launchers are D6 plus 6 shots. Okay, good shot amount. It's on 5s. It's strength 5, AP 1, 2 damage. It's got blast, it's got ignore cover, and it's got indirect fire. Indirect fire. Ooh, alright, so we can have our nice mortar squigs being launched off. Well, you take the -1 to hit because of the dang artillery nerf that they keep throwing at us. So what, now my squigs are hitting you on 6s? I get an average of, what, 10 shots off the D6 plus 6, and I hit you once, maybe twice? But I'm only AP 1, give that cover, that's AP 0? That's not doing anything, lads. I'm sorry. Look at another one, you got the Shock Jump Dragster. It's got a custom shock rifle, it's 1 shot, okay, hits on 3, okay, that's not too bad. So that might do some damage. But then you look at its ability, it says each time the model is selected to advance, you can remove it from the battlefield and set it up again anywhere on the battlefield more than 9 inches horizontally away from all enemy models, instead of making an advance move. Alright, so it does that cool shock tunnel ability, does some Grey Knight Wizard beaky shenanigans. Take it off the board, you place it somewhere else. Not too bad, right? Well, each of the buggies are on a damn dinner plate of a base size, so good luck taking that off the board and deep striking it somewhere in your opponent's board and being outside of 9 inches of everything, because the thing's so damn sogging big. So half the time you don't even get to use its ability. That's the issue that a lot of people have with the buggies. They don't really do a whole lot of damage or have any cool abilities that make wanting an inclusion feasible. Makes me proper sad. Another downside, lots of huge models and you have lots of them. So like I said before, the buggies come on huge bases. We're not talking Gorkanaut, Morkanaut, Night bases, but they're pretty damn zogging close. They're huge. I have an entire shelf in me mech shop filled with buggies and deathcopters, so much so that if I put any more on the shelf, they're gonna fall right off. But that entire shelf's worth of models isn't even a full Zoggin 2K list. It's like 1,600 points. I'd take like 3-4 boxes to take that to the local shops when I go to crump some Gitz with them. And on top of that, to run them in the game, a lot of them buggies and war bikers and even the planes for Zoggin's sake are very cheap points-wise. Each buggy is on average 75, 80, 85 points. Very, very cheap, so you can just load up your list, load up the table with as many of them lads as you want. I made a list that was 18 Deathcopters, the maximum you can bring, 18 Warbikers, also the max you can bring, like 8 buggies of all different configurations, and 2 Deathkiller Wartrikes. And again, yeah, it was like 1,700, 1,800 points, not even a full list. I couldn't even deploy everything on my side of the Zoggin board because there was just so much stuff, too many Gitz. So it makes it hard to play and hard to maneuver just having that full parking lot of lads. It looks cool, looks really cool, but it's not very practical. Because of all that, they're very hard to collect. Again, they take up a lot of space. Each buggy is a monopose model for $60, something like that nowadays, maybe even more. So $60 to $70 for one 70-point model, and you're gonna need a dozen of them. That's a lot of teeth you're having to shell out. So I don't blame a lot of fellow Gitz for wanting to steer clear of them, just because it's hard to get your hands on a lot of them lads. And on top of that, one of the Speed Freak's keyworded units is our 4 planes. And planes are downright awful to run in 10th edition. And Games Workshop has straight up told us that. They're scared of us. They were scared as to what happened in 9th edition with the freebooter planes. They were scared of me when I was tabling Gitz in 2 turns with my War Force 1. They don't want to see that anymore. So when 10th edition rolled around, they said, get the planes out of here. We don't want yous running them. Put them on the shelf, make them look pretty, but that's it. And that makes me sad too. So lads, with all this in mind, if I were to bring a Cult of Speed list to a local GT, or just to try to have a good, solid, competitive game with the lads, this is what I'd try to run. This is what I would recommend you all to try out as well. So this list is 2,000 points on the nose. What do we got? We got Boss Snickrot, we got a Beast Boss, we got 2 Death Killer War traits, one of them's got the Waz Blast enhancement, mainly because I just had 10 points left over. We got 10 Beast Snagger Boys to go with said Beast Boss. We got 2 of the 6-man Breaker Boys units, the new ones from the kill teams. We got 1 Squad of Grots, 2 5-man Storm Boy units, 1 6-man Tank Buster, 2 6-packs of War Bikers to go with said Death Killer War Trikes. We got 1 Boondacker Snazwagon, 3 6-packs of Death Copters, the max amount that you can feasibly bring in a list, and then 2 trucks to transport them infantry boys around. So, now why do I have this list in this configuration? Well, we'll start off with Snickrot. So, Snickrot is an infiltrating boss type character. We only have 2 units that can infiltrate in the book. That's Boss Snickrot and the Commandos. Why do I take Snickrot over the Commandos? Well, purely because he's a little bit cheaper. A full pack of Commandos, because you can only bring them in 10-man squads, is 120 points strong. And that's a lot of points, a lot of teeth you're shelling out. Snickrot, you can get a bit of a discount, and you're going to need an infiltrating unit in the Cult of Speed detachment specifically because you are going to box yourself in pretty quickly with all these models you bring in. Again, like I said, the War Bikers, big bases. The Death Killer War Trikes, big bases. The 1 buggy that we're running has a big base. A 6-pack of Death Copters takes up a large footprint on a tabletop. So, if you don't get that turn 1, and your opponent goes first, and say your opponent brought some infiltrators or some scouts or something like that, and they can get up in your face pretty quickly, they will very easily box you into your own deployment zone before you can even get all those models out, and then you'll be tripping over yourself the whole game, and your opponent will be able to just do whatever they want. So having Snickrot there allows him to deploy in the midfield and block off an area, so that way your opponent also can't infiltrate a scout around where he is. So if you put him in a location that clears an area for your bigger units, your Death Copters, your War Bikers, your buggies to be able to snake on through, that is what I would do. The Beast Boss and the Beast Snagger Boys, they are purely going to be there to try to crump the bigger vehicles. That's what they're good at, that's why you bring them. There is lots and lots and lots of tanks and vehicles in this game as it is currently, and you need to be able to find ways of taking care of them. Your Death Copters, they're alright at it, but their rockets, even though they're AP 2 and 3 damage, they're only strength 9, and most vehicles in the game are toughness 10 and above. Real dead hard and hard to crump. So having some extra lads along to be able to hit them in melee, that's why they're there. Breaker Boys, they are going to be pretty much the same thing. More melee power to be able to punch up against those hard targets. I brought them just by themselves, didn't put any characters with them, mainly because they're pretty efficient by themselves. They already hit on 3s, unlike Knobs hitting on 4s with their power claws. So just throw them breaker boys in the trucks, roll them up on forward, and hop them out at first convenience when you think you can get stuck into one of them hard vehicles that your beaky boys bring. We have a squad of grots, sit on your home field, try to generate you some CPs, so you can spend it on your Dakar Storm every turn. You always gotta have at least one unit. 2 5-pack Storm Boys, as we talked about in our previous video, they are there for your secondary scoring. You're gonna have one deploy on the line to be able to hop into the center of the board, the other is gonna stick a deep strike and wait for a later turn for a secondary objective. 1 pack of Tank Busters. Again, kill vehicles. That's what you need to be able to do to play the game properly nowadays. These Tank Busters, probably just gonna throw them in reserve, have them come in on a flank, pop a vehicle that your opposing Git didn't think that it would get shot at. 2 packs of War Bikers, again, to go with the Def Killer War Trikes. Those units are just going to rocket up into the middle of the board as quick as possible, tie up as many units as they can, and shoot a bunch of things while doing it, and have a good time doing it as well. The single Boomdecker Snazwagon. Now, this little bugger, his ability is that anything that's within 6 inches of him gets -1 to hit. That's including shooting phase, fight phase, whatever, because it's just billowing smoke everywhere. You can't see anything near it. So it's mainly going to be there to add some annoyance and some nuisance to your opponent. I find typically the strategy is going to be to hit your opponents with the Def Killer units and then have the Boomdecker just hide slightly back behind everything, still within 6 inches, to make your opponent just a little bit more frustrated with what they have to deal with. And then your main bulkier boys, the 3 6-pack Defcopter units. Typically how I'm going to do it, I'm going to start 2 of them on the board and put 1 of them in deep strike. They're going to sit off in the wings of the board, wait for their moment to strike, jump out from behind a line of sight, blocking building or whatever, and light up some unsuspecting Gits. Because with their 12-inch move and their advance, shoot, and charge, they can get pretty much wherever they want to be at all times of the game. You just got to be pretty careful with them, because even though you have that stratagem to give them that 4-up invuln, you don't want them just willingly taking shots from your opposing Gits, because really, at the end of the day, if your enemy wants them dead, they will die. So I highly suggest hiding them as much as you can, because they are going to be the biggest workhorse of your list. And then those 2 aforementioned trucks, just to cart your boys around. Put the Breaker Boys in one truck, put your Beastnagger Boys in the other one, have them rolling up alongside your Defcopters, behind your War Bikers, behind your Boomdecker, and again, just waiting for their time to strike. If your opponent gets a little bit too close, you jump out, you run up, you get stuck in, you crop them good. Like a good orc should. So, here we are on the table. As you can see, today I am listed up against the Humies of the Imperial Guard. I've got my list that I just showed you all deployed on the table here. This mission I have rolled up is Linchpin and Tipping Point on GW layout number 2. So in my deployment, I'll show you what I've done here. So first up, I've got a 6-pack of Defcopters chilling out over here inside this building, where it cannot be seen by any of the opposing forces on the other side. I've got my truck full of 2 squads of Breaker Boys. I've got 1 big Def Killer Trike squad here, and the other squad Trike here, also trying to hide behind these buildings as much as possible. I've got my 5-pack of Storm Boys right here, nestled nicely in this crook, being able to jump out turn 1 wherever they need to go. Got my Boomdeck inside this building, also trying to hide for its life. The other squad of Defcopters here in the back. Got me Grots on me home objective. Snickrot is right up here, hiding in the middle of the board, about 7 or 9 inches from the opposing Gitz deployment zone. And he is here because I know that my opposing Humie Gitz here have a Chimera that's going to scout, the Taurox is going to scout, the Scout Sentinel's going to scout, and he's even got that sneaky Git, Abram Gaunt, whatever his name is, up in here with his boys, infiltrating in the board as well. So this way, with Snickrot being right here, if my opposing Git goes first, if he scouts, he's going to have to stay outside of this 9-inch bubble that Snickrot gives off. Which means he is far less likely to get his boys all the way up the board turn 1 and gum up all this mid-board space, so that way I can't get up there with my lads. And the other things we got, So we got them tank busters in reserves, we have that other squad of storm boys in deep strike, and we have the one death copter squad in deep strike as well. Because my opponent here has got a lot of firepower. He's got 2 of them Rogel Dawns, he's got a Lehman Russ right here, he's got Toroxes full of them Kazakins, Chimeras full of Katachans, lots of scouting going on, and lots of back lane firepower. So I want to try to hide my stuff as much as I can as to not be shot early off the board, because then I can use my high speed to my advantage and hide between these midfield buildings to try to avoid the line of sight of the Hume Gitz. Alright lads, now this is a quick mock-up of a turn 1 movement phase if I were to have gone first in this particular scenario. So for me cards, I've gotten that I have secure no man's land and establish locust for my 2 secondaries for the turn. And this is kind of where I've moved. Have you noticed I have been pretty ballsy with a lot of my units. Both squads of bikers have moved up. This one is over on this left flank on this objective, and we have this over here on the right hiding behind this weird little shaped ruin here. If our boomdecker came up next to them, we have the death copters from back behind here moved up to stage in this building. We have our truck full of beast snaggers right here up against the wall, ready to hop out and charge anywhere in this vicinity next turn. We got the breaker boys here in this truck to help take their place. We have these death copters still sitting in the back in the wings, ready to wait for the next turn of the next couple turns to maybe pop out and shoot at a vehicle that might come a little bit closer. Because even though we're pretty fast, we still only have the 24-inch movement, which can sometimes make it hard to try to get things that are way in the back. Our storm boys moved up in the center to get our established locus, as well as count as one of our 2 no man's land objectives, so that'll get us a few points, and then probably die on the smackback, but that's okay. Snickrot, we were pretty ballsy with him as well. We moved him up here. We're going to try to do a cheeky charge into these 2 transports, because we don't want them moving up into the mid-board and offloading their cargo to be able to get the shots off on us first. Because if this box of Kazakin comes up, deposits right about here, and shoots up into our war biker squad here, you could probably take out a good amount of them. Now that doesn't mean that they ain't safe. Right here, there is a line of sight to where that Lehman Russ down there could take some shots at us, but it doesn't have a whole lot of shots, and anything else that tries to get up there is just getting that much closer to us, and means that we could probably then charge them back on our turn. So it's not the worst of positioning, but you will find out that, again, this is such a large footprint unit. It's going to be very difficult to hide every model in a squad like this. Same thing with the death copters. Again, you can see they are just so physically large in this building here that it's very hard to be able to move them and still conceal all of them, especially when your opponent's got these big bazooka tanks that can shoot them from which way they wanted to. But unfortunately, that's just kind of how you have to do it sometimes. And with this attachment, you can bring so many different things. Clogging up the board and just getting the drop on your opponent first is definitely how I would suggest how to play it. Don't let your opponent get the jump on you, because if you're put on the back foot, you don't have the damage and firepower to be able to get off said back foot. So with Kult of Speed, you're going to try to do as much damage as you can through your death copters and your breaker boys and your other stuff that you've shoved in your trucks, but mainly you're going to be playing the mid board, trying to take as many points as you can while denying your opponent as many points as you can as well, score up your secondaries, and win on points. So that would be a quick overview of the Kult of Speed. Do I think it's still a bad detachment? No. Is it the end-all be-all go-to competitive orc detachment that you're going to want to bring? Also no, I don't even think it's top 3 in the ones that we can bring, to be perfectly honest. But it's fun, and it's usable now. It's no longer like bottom shelf tier garbage, but it ain't bad. So that's me 2 cents. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been the Daily Grumper, signing out.